Yeah, it is me. And if you thought I was going to come in with a rap, you were mistaken. I didn't say yeah as in I'm getting in a flow. I said yeah as in that was a poor choice of the first words of my sentence. You know, I could have gone with or but I went with yeah. So I'm not going to rap, but I just wanted to play this beat to set a good tone and a mood for this podcast, because here at We're Just People, we hold these certain truths to be self-evident. And you know what they are? They're this. I thought we could be civil about this. And you know what else? Girls just expect too much out of guys, you know? But you're just you. And I'm just me. And if you're new here, hang on for just a few moments, get through this theme song, and then maybe you'll feel a little more comfortable about what in the world is going on, because
we're just people. 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 Talking with a free soul and dark chocolates.
yes, clap, clap, laugh, laugh. Let me say this. If you're watching on YouTube, because, you know, there's lots of different ways you can listen or watch. Well, there's one way you can watch. But I'll just say this. If you're watching on YouTube, you aren't watching anything, are you? You are looking at a screenshot or something of a picture, but you can hear the audio. And let me just say something before you turn it off. Don't, you may have already, but don't turn it off. You're on YouTube. You're already there. Keep letting it play. You know what? Actually, here's what you can do. Leave a comment on the video, like it, and then go to Apple Podcasts and you can listen to it there. Or you can listen to it here. Either way. But, you know, maybe if I have time, I'll change the picture a few times. So that's going to be exciting. You know, whenever you're, this was in a scene from the show The Office, but it's kind of like when you're watching like a screensaver that's got like a logo bouncing around the four corners, and all you can, you know, your greatest dream in life would be for it to hit the corner exactly. And you wait for a long time, and then when it happens, it's like the most fulfilling and exciting thing ever. Now, why is it exciting? Because you're forced to stare at it for a long time. So here's the thing. If you force yourself to watch this video, then I promise you by the time it changes pictures, it'll be real solid entertainment. Now, is it because it's just in general quality entertainment, or is it because you forced yourself to be bored to death and so anything is awesome? Well, it's probably the second one, but either one works, right? You know, every meal that you cook could be the best meal you've ever had if you just don't eat for a couple days. That's not advised. So I take that back. But listen up. Welcome to another episode of We're Just People podcast, episode number 40. 40. That is a crazy thought that I'm going to be 40 in just about 5 years, or maybe it's 5 years to be exact. And let me point out another couple obvious things. Number one is Sean's not here. He held down the fort last week, and I'm holding it down this week. Okay? Now you might ask, why aren't you two together? You know, that sounds like a question you would ask a couple that you really love. And maybe we're a couple that you really love. That's fine. That's fine. But we're not in the same location. That's why. And the We're Just People podcast budget, it just ain't stacked enough right now to purchase an airfare for Mr. Kilgore or an extremely large tank of gas for me. So anyways, if you're a regular listener to We're Just People, you know what I love is that there's no pressure with you guys, because you have a sense of who I am, and Sean would feel the same. You have a sense about who he is. And so there's no pressure. I don't feel like I need to crack jokes, even though I don't really try to crack jokes. I just talk. But I don't feel the pressure to do that, because I think that at this point, listeners who listen often, we're just comfortable with each other's kind of point of view. And I think that there's a hanging out sense, and I like that. But if you're new, now I'm thinking about you, and all I can think of is make it entertaining, crack a joke. And you know what? That's okay, because you're new, and we do special things for new people, like, give you a card or a gift or something. Well, we don't do that on the podcast, but maybe we should. Maybe if you let us know, then we'll send, one of the core elements of this podcast is to promise free stuff. The delivery is, that's really a different point. Whether or not we deliver on them, that's outside of what's important. What's important is you're going to feel like you're going to get some really cool free stuff. And that's all that matters, because once this podcast is over, guess what? It's over, and we won't interact until next week. Well, actually, we can interact all throughout the week if you'll call the hotline, which I can't wait to get to some of these hotline calls because they're good. We've got one that I think is going to be exciting for all of us, and I want to get to it. This is going to be a shorter episode, so bear with me here because I got to go eat something, and I'm thinking about
chicken gizzards.
I hate when I'm good at it. I hate when I am good at putting in the sound bites. I don't know why I hate it. Maybe because after I do it, I think it's cheesy, and it is cheesy. And that's fine, because this whole thing is cheesy. And now I want to go. You know what we all want to do now. I said the word cheese. And if you don't want to eat cheese right now, you probably lactose intolerant. But you still probably want to eat it. So anyways, I just need to check in with Mr. Kilgore. Again, referring to the sound bites, he's not present, but I want to know at least one place foreign that listens to this podcast.
Mais Hu Guang Dong.
Yeah, he's never going to live that one down, but that's not anything to live down. That's just the name of a city, if we're honest, right? So they're listening, I would assume, We've got new cities, but guess what? Did GP bother to look that up? No. You guessed. The answer is no. So if you tuned in from a new city, you missed out on a shout out. Why? Because that's not my strong suit. That's what it is. It's not my strong suit. And let me say this, though. I'm probably in the most echoey room I've ever been in my life. I looked around and decided this is the place to do it. And I just so happened to decide the most echoey room I've ever been in my life. So if it bothers you, you can turn me off, or you can keep listening. I would prefer you keep listening. So shout out to some people that I love so dearly. Honestly, if you're listening, if my vocal cord digital information is traveling through your ear holes and to your brain and giving you signals of warmth and a little bit of confusion, probably a little bit of joy, some mystery, some intrigue, and you're probably also overwhelmed with excitement. That's just what happens. But if my voice is getting to your brain and you're registering it, I love you. And that's just how it is. You say, how in the world could you love me? You don't even know me. All you know is that, you don't even know if your voice is in my ears. Well, none of those rules apply here. You get a little bit of love, and I get to make up the rules because it's my podcast. It's me and Sean's. It's me and yours. It's all of ours. How about that? So, let's see here. I want to get to this hotline call, but I do want to again say shout outs to, let's go old school. How about that? Let's go old school. Let me do some that mean something. Now they all mean something, but let's go old school. Shout out to the Flamingo. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all miss her? Miss that laugh that adds that explosive joy, right? And her opinion and her voice, she's amazing. And you can never take away her part in this podcast. You know, she got super busy with school and everything, and had to step away for a little bit. But doors always open. But that's all beside the point. What is the point is that Rebecca Flamingo, I think you're amazing. And you helped build this empire to what it is today. You know, all 172 of us, or how many ever there are, right? You helped. You did. You know, you conquered. I'm getting a phone call, and I'm not going to answer it live because I don't know how this will go, but maybe I'll just update you on the phone call after I finish. Let's try that. And we're back. And I always wanted to say that, you know, maybe one day when we have sponsors, I'll be able to say that. But anyways, I'm back from that phone call because it came from a person that you don't just answer live. And you know who it was? It was my mom. Oh, Mom gave me a call. And it was kind of a simple call. But anyways, you know, what I want to do is, the thing that I'm worried about is that all of you, about 9 seconds ago, you knew what I was saying before the phone call, right? It just happened as far as your ears can tell. But for me, it was about maybe 5 minutes ago. So if there's any hope of me recalling what I was talking about, you know, you need to go ahead and crush that, stomp that out, because there ain't no chance. Now, I could stop the recording, go back and listen, but, you know, that's just a little too detail work for your boy GP. So let's just count on the fact that if it was good, then something else is going to come up that's good. And let's just count on that. So here's another thing you get to enjoy. I'm about to plug my phone back in. And you hear that noise? Is that a bad thing that we're going to edit out of the podcast? Nope. It's all part of it. That's me putting my fingers on the plug. I don't know if that's blowing your brains out, but it sounds kind of cool to me, like some sort of a DJ. I'm going to plug this in. So 3, 2, 1. There we go. And it's gone. Everybody feel better? Wow, this is so riveting. What a podcast. Wow. If you're new, you're not listening this far. I know that. But if you're new and somehow you have hung on, this is just a taste of what you get. Anyways, I want to listen to this call because I will tell you that I read the subject line and it made me excited. So I know that it has something to do with the slipstream. And that's a place where anything can happen. And so I want to hear about whatever this is, this hotline call, which if you haven't called the hotline before, give it a call. 405-265-6706. Call the hotline. You know why? Because the hotline is supposed to be embedded into the core of this podcast. It's supposed to be how you and I communicate and have feedback and talk back and forth. And so you got to hold up your end of the bargain. If you've never called, or if you have called before, hit me up on the hotline, 405-265-6706. But let's hear this. I know this is about the slipstream, and I'm not going to say who it's from yet. Let's see if they reveal it. Here we go. Interesting.
I'm in the slipstream.
Oh, God.
I'm walking through a playground.
Yes.
Empty jungle gyms. Rusted slides. Swings with no...
You know, I don't want to interrupt the slipstream experience, but I just got to say, I love you dearly for doing this, Mr. Trickster. And that's all I'm going to say is Mr. Trickster, because if you've listened to this podcast a lot, you know exactly who that is. And if you never have, you're going to have to find out next episode. But you can know him as Trickster. And the slipstream is somewhere that we go first of all, when that certain song is played. But it's the place where spontaneity is everything. It's like there's only spontaneous events that happen in the slipstream. And it's some kind of, thing where a little bit of a glitch and you kind of slip out of the normal realm and you enter into this other place that honestly, this all sounds creepy. And if you're new, then just buckle up, because let's hear about his adventure in the slipstream somewhere off in Orion 229. Keep going, Mr. Trickster.
No one in them, gently being pushed by the wind.
Wow.
And at the back of this playground, behind the jungle gyms, I see, sitting there alone,
This kind of turned into like a little bit of a prophetic vibe. You know what I see? I see that. Anyway, keep going.
it's a panda. This panda, he has no friends. He has been sitting there alone for so long.
Wow, I felt that.
I walk up to the panda and I find out his name is George.
Nice.
George tells me how he got lost from all the other pandas. So I give George a stick of bamboo and hoped to be his new friend.
You know, this is a really emotional type slipstream experience. And I'm here for it. I'm down with it. And what I just realized is the slipstream is like story time. It's narrate what comes to your mind. It's adventures of the random inspirations in your brain. You just say them out loud. It's story time. But dude, this panda sitting alone in a playground where there's empty jungle gyms, and he wants to be his friend. This is a great story so far. And if you don't think that this is going to start an influx of hotline calls of you sharing your slipstream experience, then you're wrong, because that's exactly what I hope happens. I want you to call, just like Mr. Trickster set the example. Now, he's probably listening and thinking, why do you keep interrupting the slipstream story? I'm very sorry. I'm just excited, and I want others to call with their slipstream input. Let's get back to your story. I won't stop it again, I promise. Here we go.
But George turns it away. He says, no, this is all a lie. My name is really Kevin. And he unzips the zipper on his back, and it turns out that George, who is actually Kevin, is really a giraffe.
Oh.
I could have never seen this coming. The playground around me, it fades away. It turns into a jungle, and the giraffe, Kevin, walks around, showing me all his many friends.
I can feel you reaching, but it's still good.
He shows that I have been completely bamboozled.
Ooh.
I am the fool here.
Wow.
I am the fool here.
Please tell me that's where it ends. Whoa. Strong. I get the message. Strong. I am the fool here. Anyways, if you're able to go along with this and just track with it and just let it be what it is, if you're new, you might be trying to figure it out. There's nothing to figure out. Or maybe you've listened to like one or two and you're still thinking, what is the deal? Like, I'm just trying to unlock the code of what the deal is about this. Like, what's the purpose? Like, what is it? What's he doing? If you just kind of let go of that and say, I'm encountering this thing as it should be, and I'm gonna go along with it. And if you'll do that, I promise it will bring you some smiles. Now back to Kevin. What a character. And I'm picking up maybe a hint of, I don't know. Do we want to try to interpret people's slipstreams? Kind of like their, let's not go there yet. Let's not go there. But let me just say that Trickster, if you were a giraffe named Kevin, I would be your friend. And I would sit with you in a playground, And I'd give you bamboo thinking you were a panda. But once you showed me that you're a giraffe, I might feel, like I was fooled, but I'd be happy that I know what you really are, and that we get to, you get to be that with me. So, we are open for all Kevins and all of that kind of thing. Now, here's what we're going to do. There's a couple emails that came in, and I want to get to those. I say a couple. There was one, and why was I talking super slow? Because I'm trying to find the email. Am I prepared for this? Who do you think I am, right? But I got it up now, and there's one email. There's not multiple. It's from someone named Monica. Subject, wow. Y'all, period. I just think you deserve to know that y'all are generously rad human beings. I love that. Thank you. You said y'all twice. You're probably Southern, which I am too, Oklahoma. Love it. I'm curious though. Would y'all, again, that's a third, rather be covered in fur or scales? In fur or in scales? Well, I would say 100. Well, the part of me wants to say scales because maybe that would be some type of, protective whatever, but fur all the way. You know why? Because it'd be mega cuddly, and that's just awesome. So, and the email says, would you rather only drink water for the rest of your life or drink whatever you want, knowing there's a drop of some random person's urine in it? I just felt kind of dirty. I said urine. Well, first of all, the answer is water, okay? All day, every day for the rest of my life. And if any of you were thinking not water, you're gross. And maybe you just are, and that's who you are, and that's fine. You can be a giraffe named Kevin. I'll let you be that. And maybe you want to drink whatever liquid you want with another person's number one in there. Is it number? Yes, number one. Just a little. But I just want you to know you're a giraffe named Kevin. And that's okay. But you're just not who we thought you were. And that's okay. But I'm saying water forever. And that's my answer. The email continues. Just know that God loves you no matter your answer. That's good to know. And that's all that matters. I ain't about to judge you because we're just people. Great use of that, Annika. Honestly, that you get an A. The last part says, thank y'all. Y'all number 4. Four-time the y'all champ. This is the y'all champ. Now, if you want to take it from this person, you're gonna have to send an email with more with greater than 4 y'alls, okay? But it says, thank y'all for the encouragement. Every week you make an impact. Annika, smiley faces with 2 mouths, with 2 parentheses. Thank you so much. Honestly, you saying that, honestly, it helps. It's great encouragement, and I really appreciate it. I'm not sure the type of impact we make. Like I would assume there's some level of difference that we're making. When I say difference, meaning that, when you hear anything or see anything, life's just a tad different. And I'm sure that we're doing that. Now, the kind of impact we're making, not 100% sure, but we're making one. And I'm happy about that. So thank you for the email. I would say this, and we're going to kind of wrap up. I know it's a little short here, but here's what I would say to kind of wrap this thing a little bit is that I don't know where you are or who you are, but oh man, are you wondering where I'm going to go? I'm going to tell you, and I'm circling back to Kevin, the giraffe. Well, hasn't this been eventful? Hasn't this been a great podcast? We're going to wrap it up. I know it's a little early again, but or it's a little short. But I just want to say to all the secret giraffes named Kevin out there that are zipped up in a panda suit, just think about letting the inner Kevin come out every once in a while. And if you can't do that everywhere, then find places where you feel comfortable and safe to do that, because there's something special and great inside of you. And, that's what the world needs is that unique wonder on the inside of you. And anyways, that's my charge, is to let's bring out the Kevins. So, and you all already know that's likely going to be the name of the podcast. And listen, I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your ears being available. Thank you for being consistent, for your feedback, for your hotline calls, your rates, and your reviews, and your follows on social media. And thanks for being you. So shout out to Kevin. If your name's Kevin, then this episode's real special for you. But other than that, this is Grant signing off. How about that? And we're back. No, and we're leaving. Signing out. See you later.